Well, it finally happened. Look what arrived. We've got the bumper right here. I've got the grill right here. I've got the new hood right here. I've got both new fenders. VW has ordered me in the 2 fog light holders, which will be in tomorrow. And then it's time to put Humpty Dumpty back together. But I think what I'm going to quickly do while I wait to get this off the floor is I'm going to pop in this grill. Give me 2 seconds. This part's pretty easy. If you look, you have those little clips. They just sink right into there. And then the little other hooks slip in right over there. This literally is just going to press in. Just line it up and make sure it's lined up proper, just like that, and slip it in. Good tip if you ever have to put this in our new grill. Slip in the top first, obviously, like line up the bottom so it doesn't scratch your bottom lip. Again, this is going to be painted anyway, but anything I can avoid damaging would be great. So just lightly slipped in there, but where you really want to spend the tension is right here. You want to make sure these clips slide in first, and make sure you want to see this one isn't fully clicked yet. That one's fully clicked. I just want to show you this. So I'm going to slowly go through and pull this forward so it locks in like that. And the next one, like that. Get this one worked in, and it can be a little fun. So spend some time and don't break it. So the fenders dry fit really well. The only thing is I'm going to do this before I put the other side on. I was taking a look, and behind here there are 2 boltings. First you bolt the fender in, and then this bolts over top of the fender. So you actually have to take this piece off, which entails taking the headlight off again. So what I'm going to do is take off the grill again, take off the headlight, and then after I take off the headlights and the grill, then I can get this piece right here out, and then I can bolt the fenders in properly, and then I'll put that back together. So, I mean, I guess the first thing I'm going to have to do is just pop out these fender bolts again, and then pop that off. So by popping this out, and then this one, I can maneuver this a little bit. There's a clip in here that is kind of like a belt clip. It's clipped in there pretty good. I'm not going to bother removing it out because I don't really need to. If you take a look here, I now have access to those 2 holes, and I will 100% be able to get a screwdriver in there and put those 2 screws in. So yeah, I might as well just get in there and put those 2 screws in, and then I can organize the top up here and screw those 2 screws in. One there, and there's actually one over there by the lifted arm. So if I lift this up, there's one more right there, one more inside the door if I pop it open, and then 2 down there by my side skirt right there. Might test the hood out. Just gonna throw, as you can see, the 2 top ones are meant to keyhole on, so that way you can just slide the hood on right here. So if you're gonna test your hood, all you do is you put the keyhole in here, and in here, slide it on, and then you put your last 2 bolts in the bottom. It has to go in on a bit of an angle. Seriously, I just did it myself. I don't know if I'd suggest telling someone to do it by themselves, but all I did is I got those 2 in by putting it on a bit of an angle. It also comes with a big piece of foam, so I was able to rest a piece of foam right here, slide that end in first, and then come over here and then slide in that end. After I did that, just put these in, give them a little bit of a tighten. Now I'm going to take the stock bumpers that I took off, all these bumper pieces. I'm going to tie these into the front of the hood. Just a really important thing so you don't start freaking out like crazy is you might go to feel this and be like, oh my gosh, why is there such a big high lip on this? Make sure you adjust your bumper for it. If you take a look, those bumpers right there, the farther you unscrew them, it brings out or brings up that corner so it lines up properly. Now, next thing I'm probably going to do is bolt on the locking system. And then after I do that, I'll also quickly think I'll sink that carpet back in because I have that carpet piece too. This is probably for that bumper, for the screw piece. Let's see. Yeah, see? This right here is so we can put that gas shock back on in the end. I gotta buy a new one because mine was definitely not gonna go back in here. And so I've got those screws. I gotta remember which ones those ones are. But yeah, time to, maybe I'll quickly chuck this on there so I can see how it looks. Can't believe how easy this was. I was going to show you and then it was just so easy. I just fed the harness in and I slowly pushed the connectors in, and lo and behold, it just kind of slid along the top here and out through there. This one's here. This is for your nozzles, and then literally this grommet, all I did is I squeezed it and it went back in like this. Like, I didn't even get a chance to show you. It was literally just shove in the tip and keep pushing it until it came out the other end. And then this is here, this is here. Now I can hook up my nozzles and that way it sprays the windshield. Couple tie wraps, one goes right here and then one comes in up here, and that's done. This one's leveled nicely. Once I get this one started, it'll level nicely too. You're probably wondering, why hasn't he started with this side yet? It's because there's actually one fender washer I'm gonna have to drill out right by the door there, which means I'm gonna have to move the car. I just wanted to get this one in, and so far this looks good for me. Now I've just got to get the last little bit tied in on the hood. I'm gonna quickly put in that fire blanket. Now you're probably wondering, maybe you've never seen one of these before, know why they're on the bottom of your engine. And the reason why is these clips melt, and that way, if there's ever a fire in your engine bay, clips melt, this acts as a fire blanket and lands on your engine and is supposed to smother the fire a bit. That's what it's meant for. I just put the first clip in to hold them. Just make sure if you're replacing your hood for some reason that you do the same thing. Line these little stars up in the metal. This fire blanket is getting kind of old. After we get that, line that hole up. Just got to squeeze it up a little more. See how that's lined up now? All it is this sinks into there. It's a little triangle, so they go like this. There, that one's in. Tuck in the rest of these now that we've got two in there. Oh, it's super dusty, just probably from sitting in the shop for so long. Can't wait to take the car for a bath. But it's also got to go for a bath because it's got to go get painted. That's what's going to happen after all this is done. Get to send it over to my buddy Bill and he'll paint it up. I'm going to put the last three in right here, and that is probably all there is to do with the hood tonight. Because the hood is good and I already checked. Comes down. When you're putting the latch on your new hood, make sure you put it on loose first. Well, snug, and then adjust that where it should be. If you're using a used hood latch that came from your car, chances are you'll have little marks where those screws were, and you should be able to line those up and it'll give you pretty darn close. Now the other thing I got to go do before this car gets painted is I have a badgeless grille now, so I need to go get the badge plug so that can get filled in and painted when I do my car. Well, this is my first night back working on it. So far so good. I just have to tie in the inner screws and the inner, there's 1, 2, and there's 2 down here, and that'll just suck this right in there so it's nice and flush like this with the door. And yeah, that's about it. Not too bad at all for what it is and what I got it for. So we got this one. The lines seem to match right up. No off pieces there. Same at the bottom. Seems to match right up. So my paint guy should have an easier time with that. The hood seems to be matching up just fine. Looks good. Once I get that badgeless piece in there, that'll look wicked. And then once I get the bumper, whew, can't wait. I have to still do this fender, but like I said, I have to easy out the screw right here because that screw was just jammed in there last time. So I'll see how I'm going to get that out and go from there. But some good progress for the first couple hours. As you can see, we have the fender lying right here. We have to put in some plastic pieces which I didn't do last time because I got a little bit too overexcited. So these just go in actually from that side. And what happens is when the screw goes in, they expand. So we just got to wiggle them in like that, and they should lock in. Do the same thing for over here. Just like that. They should sit just like that. And again, sits like this. When the screw goes through, it expands and it'll sit in there tighter. Same with this one. And last but not least, we should have one other one which sits. We have this one, that one, and we need one right here. And I think that is it. Oh, and one right here. So it works out to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's probably 6 per side. Yeah, 4, 5, 6. So to properly do both sides, I need to pull the tires off. So I've already cracked them loose, popping both the rims back off. That way I can get those 2 bottom holes easier, get the inside easier, line up my fenders easier, because I have to put in the plastic fenders in here too, the fender covers. So might as well pull these rims off and then get it all buttoned up. Just like we did last time on the other side, I've loosened these 2 screws so that way this moves around a little bit so I can get in here to tighten those bolts in here. And of course it's just this one and this one and this one. Now that that's nice and free, we have all those pieces sunk in when there was 6 of them there. Now I'm going to quickly sit them in there. As you can see, just note the orientation so that way you know, so that way when the screw goes in, it does what it should. So I'm going to go sit it in the frame and go take a look at how it sits. Again, just this slides in, make sure that slides into the opening, and then just make sure everything just kind of slides into the different areas that it should. Just like I did before, I started with this end, made sure that little hook slid into here. Now that it's slid into here, went down to here, made sure these, yep, that's going to line up. That's going to line up, lines up right there. Come up to the top, ready to go, ready to go. Once we know everything's sat in there and everything's good, now just start throwing screws in all the way around so it's just holding itself in. As you can see, all of them line up. Throwing 3 of these screws in here to tighten them up. Went in and finished adjusting these and tightening them up. Gonna be a little bit more play to do, but so far the lines are looking clean. As you can see, the pieces here are tightened up. Everything looks nice and clean on here. Loving it. This one is completely screwed in. The other side, I still have the screw that's behind the door right here to put in. Had to order it from Volkswagen today. This is all I got really left from the accident. I didn't want to put $2,000 into a new headlight just for this. Might go to a guy who's a pro and see if he can do some polishing for that. But other than that, it's coming along. I don't have the grill piece back on here yet because, as you can see, I have it off because the bumper has to go on so I can finish that last piece. Other than that, I think we're good. And I still have to take this to a buddy to get re-tack welded. This piece just has to get twisted and tack welded on. But other than that, it doesn't matter. That, if you're wondering why this one's a little bit goofy looking on here, that's why. It's just because, yeah, it just needs to be re-welded right there. Other than that, everything's coming along. I think that's all I'm going to be filming for the weekend until I get the bumper, because yeah, that's all there is to it. Thanks again for watching. Press like if it helped you out, and of course subscribe for more because there's more coming.